Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday. Is it actually Wednesday? It is Wednesday. So, well, we've got some movement from today, finally. And it seems like Monday and Tuesday were not very volatile for cryptocurrencies. It was for gold and silver, of course, and arguably stocks as well. They've been doing pretty well. But, well, majority of crypto is still in a downtrend with the exception of a couple, which we will be getting into. I did not enter any new crazy good positions, although I may consider some during the stream, so we will be discussing that tonight. We'll also be talking about Ilhan Omar, another, oh no, assassination attempt. Well, I didn't even know what the point of it was. Clearly fake and staged. There's a man just not even pepper sprayed. It was vinegar spray or something. I don't know. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about gold as well. The FOMC, we got our interest rate cut decision today. We did not get a rate cut as expected. So we'll be talking about that, the impact on the market. Powell's remarks, that is also very important. It seemed decent. You know, we had a good rise to a high of 90,585 on Bitcoin's price. Since then, we have dropped to now 88,644. We did not cross 91,000 as expected. This is going to continue in a downtrend for now, in my opinion. It's not all over yet, though. Tomorrow we are expecting more stuff, and the day after as well. We'll talk about all of it in our news section. If you really want to know off the top of my head, it's that Senate market. No, it's not happening. I don't know. We were supposed to get the decision yesterday. They pushed it until tomorrow now. And now I'm hearing it's getting pushed until Monday. I don't know. But then we're also getting, obviously, economic data tomorrow and day after. And then Friday will also be getting the PPI data and also options expiry. So that might bring some volatility into the crypto market, hopefully. Or maybe, you know, can we just get the rotation of capital rotation from commodities into cryptocurrencies? Literally the only reason why cryptocurrencies are slightly doing well, and I'm looking at Hyperliquid right now, is because of the fact that you can trade gold and silver on that decentralized exchange. You're not even trading crypto. You're trading gold and silver, and we're talking trillions of dollars of volume in there. So obviously Hyperliquid would be making some money in terms of revenue. So yeah, I mean, deserved rise for Hyperliquid and perhaps other decentralized exchanges that offer that. I don't know. I didn't look into it too much, other than, you know, they were also saying there was whale accumulation or whatever. I don't know if I truly believe that, but that's fine. So we'll go review all of that tonight. First off, Bitcoin, no rise to higher than 91,000. We stopped at 90,585 as I mentioned. The drop is expected to 84,000. Enjoy it while it lasts. I mentioned it's going to be a really tough resistance to break out of, but I did agree with the fact that we could get the volatility, enough volatility to, you know, have the price rise far enough. So far, I will admit it's been kind of underwhelming. And I don't know if the rest of the week would be able to keep up with this. The biggest event already happened. The FOMC, Jerome Powell. We got the volatility we got, so not a lot of movement here. At least not that I see. So downtrend is to continue for the time being. And that goes for the rest of the market as well. Let's move on to Ethereum here. Ethereum kind of, I think this is a false breakout, honestly. I was planning on shorting Ethereum if it did this movement. It did exactly that movement, but I don't think I'm going to follow through with the short position. Maybe I'll regret that. I don't know. I could. I honestly could. But now technically it's going against the trend, right? I could do something simple like this. Have Ethereum drop to 2,878 and rise no higher than 3,050. That's absolutely possible, and I can do that. The downtrend was supposed to invalidate at 3,030, and we did hit higher points than that. We hit 3,044 on Ethereum. Now the price is slightly below 3,000. We're at 2,994. It's going to be tough as well, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to really short this. I don't feel confident with it. I'll draw it here because this is what my prospects are on it either way. We'll see how it goes over time. And even still, like the risk reward ratio, it doesn't even look that appealing to me, even if it's a 1-to-3. The likelihood of this dropping here, I don't know if that's really possible. We absolutely could, but what I would expect more is the super trend to kind of start rising over here, which would avoid, you know, the price from kind of going that low. That's why I'm maybe expecting a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio to kind of happen. So movement like this is what I would expect on Ethereum. So yeah, we might see a bit of a retracement, but I don't think I'm gonna risk taking advantage of whatever pullback we get because we are technically in an uptrend for it, although I don't fully trust the uptrend either. So in these cases, I just leave it. I'm not going to touch it. Moving on. Solana is at 124, barely got any movement with it. Solana is something I'm more willing to short that compared to something like Ethereum. But the difference here as well is that the downtrend invalidation, which is at 130, it's a little too far, too high up. Our highest we hit was 128, meaning I'd probably have to put it at 128.5 or 129. And that's having a stop loss inside the downtrend. I kind of don't want to do that. I want to have the stop loss outside of the downtrend so that if the price does hit my stop loss, that means that the trend is changing to the upside and we would expect movement upward. So I kind of don't want to risk it here either. Doesn't look like a really good setup in my opinion. And I'm just going to delete these uptrends. We do not have an uptrend anymore in Solana. Why am I even trying? I'm making stuff up where it doesn't exist. I don't know. I was tracing like the uptrend from like whatever low point we had in the past to this low of December 18, fear of Bank of Japan, which, yeah, I technically did get stop hunted. I don't think I'm going to get stop hunted for absolutely no reason. Solana is likely to head lower. We're looking at 111 for it as our absolute worst case. I don't think we're going to do that this week, though. Honestly, we might just lateralize at this area for the time being, which that also kind of disincentivizes me from wanting to enter a short position. It's more of like a 50-50 at this point. And that's not what I like to see. Hyperliquid had a huge rise. I was lucky enough to, you know, have a short position open over here and take my profit at the perfect high and perfect low. So it's not like I missed out on this rally, although I kind of did. I took my profits in a short position and I avoided getting this Omega Ultra reversal. This is why you do not use a stop loss. This is why you do have to use a stop loss, right? So there's the uptrend for Hyperliquid. Deserved move, finally. Breakout from here. Breakout from this downtrend, very long-term one as well. So that's significant. Right? Look at how it looks like in the weekly chart. This looks decent. And the rise can continue, of course. We could hit $40 up to $42 max before seeing a significant retracement. I don't think we're going to teleport there this week. I would be surprised if we do. I think the rise is kind of slowing down at this point over here. I don't know. Because I always feel like I'm looking at these commodities, gold and silver, and I'm thinking, yeah, top is in. Yeah, top is in this time. Oh, retail is buying, top is in. No, well, they just keep on rising. Okay, well, maybe Jerome Powell's comments will make it slow down. Nope, just keeps on rising. Even harder because of Jerome Powell's comments. Is gold really rising, or is the dollar value going down? And if the dollar value is going down, why isn't Bitcoin rising as well? Something is definitely weird going on in the markets. So those are my questions for it. Current price of Hyperliquid, teleporting from $22 to $33.34. Highest we hit was $34.84. No specific resistance that I had here. It actually broke through all the resistances that I was expecting, at least from pivot levels. What was I looking at before? I think I was looking at 26, 28, and then 30. I was expecting things to slow down at 30. It made sense for it to, but it just didn't. Ultimately, fundamentals will destroy whatever technical analysis you have drawn. So, decent. For the time being, I think we could use $30 as a support for Hyperliquid, and we'll stay in an uptrend as long as we're above 26, we'll call that. Supertrend is still kind of on the rise, so I don't know for sure. So we'll use 30 as a support first, and then maybe 26 as our last resort before the uptrend gets canceled and then we get a reversal once again. So that's the one thing to pay attention to. Negative funding rate, by the way. Many people are betting on the downfall. Interesting. You can't do that when there's good fundamentals. Here we have SUI making newer lows. So let's go. $1.38. Not necessarily newer lows, but we're about to approach our last support. Most important one, I think, is at 130. So that downtrend is still kind of there. Super trend peaking lower still. Yep. Might continue to head lower. Short here? Absolutely not. We didn't even get a good enough rise. I was hoping to see SUI rise to maybe like 150s, but we weren't even able to get that high. So no point in shorting this. I'm just going to stay out of it. Because if you do short, where are you putting your stop loss? There is no real high point to put it at. I guess you could argue one of these little dots, but I mean, there's so many. Which one do you even choose? And if you do choose one, the risk-reward ratio is probably not going to be favorable if you want some good gain. So I'm staying out of SUI for now. 138 is where it was at. Chainlink, $11.77. Same deal. I got stop hunted here as well, dropping to a low of $11.35. Same as well. We did not get much of a big rise. I was mentioning this area is decent for accumulation. I still believe so, but I will not accumulate at these areas still. Because we have seen Chainlink at $10. We've seen it at $8 at a worst case scenario. So a drop can still happen on it. The fact that it is oversold to that point still stands. And it's only going to be a matter of time before we see some kind of a move like we're seeing with Hyperliquid in terms of the downtrend lines that you're looking at, where it will just shoot right through it. So that's why I would agree maybe accumulating on Chainlink could make sense. I'm just not going to do it, me personally, right? It's only a matter of time before something like that happens and we teleport to 15. Maybe soon. I don't know. If you really want to bet on that, go for it. Negative funding rate, a lot of shorters. Good luck. Their short squeeze would be great, though. BitTensor didn't really rise to where I wanted it to either. I wanted something above 240. What was our highest? 242? Okay, well, we did hit that. No, not really. I wanted it more. I wanted it to approach that downtrend line, but we didn't really hit it. So I mean, maybe we could make something work, something like this, but even still, like, I'd have to put a stop loss a little higher like that. Maybe at 250, and then, like, any risk-reward ratio doesn't look favorable, like you would expect, even as a 1-to-2 risk-reward ratio, have it drop to this final support at 206, 205. Maybe even lower than that, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's really worth it to me, although it does seem likely that this might happen. I don't think it's worth the risk. I want something more safe. Nothing is safe, honestly, but whatever. That was my vision. I'll leave it drawn here. We'll see if it plays out. We'll see if I was smart or dumb. Smart because I guessed it, but dumb because I didn't enter it. Or vice versa. Smart because I didn't enter it, and dumb because I... You know what? Forget it. You get the point. Monero. No movement. But we're lateralizing at the bottom over here. Maybe we found a bottom. 477 is the current price. What was this low point? 445. I was expecting a drop to at least support 1. We didn't even go that low. Downtrend is still there. Where do we even draw this to? Seems like it's weakening every time. I think it's a matter of time before Monero starts picking back up again. Breaking 525 as its resistance should put it back up into an uptrend. And should be good. Should start seeing some good rise. Perhaps. I don't know. There's some coins that do have good opportunities of accumulation. I would put Monero as one of them, and Chainlink as another one. They might have an explosive move upward, is what I see. Let's move on to Aptos here. Aptos is... I was hoping for it to be more favorable. Didn't really rise that high either. And Aptos is something I could see making newer lows as well. I don't know, it's kind of the same setup like I saw with BitTensor, honestly. It's a bit rough. Like, I would have to put a stop loss at 170. Why can't I move this? Why is it stuck? Okay, I'm deleting it. Redo. Short. I can't move this. What is this? This is cancer. Let me refresh. It's not fluid on the chart. It's literally like dragging up and down to like certain price levels. I don't think it updated the chart properly. That's probably why. There we go. So yeah, maybe 168 as a stop if you're entering right here, right now. And I mean, where would you even put a take profit? This does not look like good profit. 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. You're expecting this Aptos to make a new low at 134. That's not even that good. So honestly, I don't see a good entry on Aptos here either. I would have liked it to rise a little higher, approach 160. Get out of here. I wanted it to approach 165, somewhere around here. We did hit a high of 162, but that's not good enough, in my opinion. So no big movement for Aptos here. That allows us to enter a good short trade yet. Maybe I could tighten the stop loss, be more risky with it to get a good profit out of a potential drop. Maybe. I'm staying out of it though for now. So there we go. No big moves for crypto tonight. Except for Bitcoin, I forgot. We dropped 250 in here because we can. These numbers turned positive, so I do see a light at the end of the tunnel, okay? It's not all over. These numbers turned positive earlier today. I'm like, look, I'm making positive $40, having placed, how much did I put? 3,500 at this point, so yeah, it's only a matter of time. I do obviously believe that Bitcoin will continue higher, just maybe not for this week. We do have the volatility though, but I don't know how high we can go. This downtrend comes from an all-time high, and the highest point we hit over here on 14th of January when we hit 98,000 almost. And I mean, this downtrend line's kind of breaking, but still technically are in one according to super trend, meaning that 91,000 is what's required for us to change the trend over to an uptrend, flip it back. And yes, I've been buying every single day since then. I didn't buy yesterday though, and it's probably a good thing I didn't because we were really close to our open average price. So I'd prefer to buy it when it's lower, of course, meaning that I don't care if Bitcoin's price drops. I'll just buy more. It's no big deal. Okay. Well, who's been stealing the show? It's gold. Gold has surpassed $5,500 for the first time in history. I'll be the judge of that. I've honestly not even looked at it. And I was looking at this 5,600 almost. We hit 5,598. We're still going, by the way. We're not stopping. Okay, what's next now? $6,000 per gold ounce. How much market cap is that going to be? 40 trillion? It's going to be 40 trillion. Where is this money coming from? Why can't we get one of these trillions, just one, into Bitcoin to not practically, duplicate the price? It's not going to duplicate the price, but it'll pump it up to like 100K plus, 140K, I don't know. New all-time high for sure. Adding an extra trillion in Bitcoin's market cap, 1.7 trillion is what it's at still. Meanwhile, gold and silver, they're just adding trillions every day like it's no big deal. Well, maybe not to silver, but still, it's hundreds of billions into silver. That's still pretty significant, and it would make big moves in crypto. I don't know if we're just all, this is a speculator's dream or what, but everybody, like I mentioned on the timeline, is talking about the capital rotation from from commodities into crypto. When is that going to happen? People are saying it's just simply not going to happen. Nobody really cares about crypto right now. But eventually they should, right? And we only need one of these trillions to be back into our true bull market, not bear market, gosh. So anyway, who's buying the gold? Maybe Tether? Not really, not much, honestly. $1 billion in gold every month, it's not a lot. We're talking trillions of dollars is entering gold every day. You're adding Bitcoin's market cap to gold every day. So, come on. It's only a matter of time, right? Let's talk about the FOMC meeting that happened today. As expected, rate cuts remained unchanged. Jerome Powell's FOMC press conference just ended. Here's everything that the Fed told to the market in simple terms. The vote was 10-2, meaning that only 2 members wanted a cut and nobody pushed for a hike. Take a wild guess who was one of the 2. Stephen Miller, of course, and I don't know who the next one would be. Waller or something W. Their names start with W. Who are the Fed governors? Fed governors. I probably point it out if I see them. Marco Rubio is not a Fed governor. I don't want the chair. Give me everyone. Oh, my eyes. Here we go. Michelle Bowman. Christopher Waller. It's one of them, I believe. Michelle Bowman. Probably not. If she's vice chair for supervision, I'm sure it's Waller. And I'm sure there's more. Isn't there more than this? Oh, these are like for every state. Okay, I'm not going to go through that, obviously. Kevin Warsh was there, by the way. We'll talk about who is going to replace Powell. But yeah, anyway. It's likely going to be that BlackRock guy. Powell clearly said a rate hike is not anyone's base case. Okay, that's a good thing. The fact that nobody expects to hike rates is a good thing. We don't want rate hikes. We want that completely off the table. And that is what markets took advantage of, part of it at least. He also said that the Fed is openly saying that tightening is finished. Yeah, we kind of knew that since the last meeting. We were expecting to get an announcement of when quantitative easing is going to happen. They have to officially announce that, so we don't know for sure. They've kind of hinted at it with their actions with, you know, the buybacks, Treasury, US debt buybacks, whatever it is. Balance sheet. I don't know what they do with it, but yeah. It's coming soon, hopefully. The direction is no longer should we hike more. It is now how long do we hold before we cut. It's likely we're going to hold for the duration of Jerome Powell's term, which ends in May, meaning that in the meeting in June, that is when everybody expects the Fed to start cutting rates once again. And if we go to the charts, the aggregated probabilities, next one is in 48 days, by the way, we do see that reflected, right? Am I going to embarrass myself on stream again? Can we please load? I don't even want to see this bar chart. Just show me the aggregated results. Okay, well, we're still going. Lovely. We pay for internet so that it works 100% of the time. More key points from Powell. Inflation is still elevated, but most of the excess inflation is coming from tariffs, not real demand. Okay, that's cope, but okay. Core PCE, excluding tariff effects, is running on slightly above 2%. We want that to come lower. PCE, preferred inflation metric for the Fed, because it excludes volatile energy prices and something. I think it's food prices as well. Powell said that tariff-driven inflation should peak by mid-2026 still, and then it will come down later this year, which will give the Fed room to loosen policy. That's good, meaning that we do expect the Fed to start cutting rates later. Page isn't working. Why are you not working? Please work. I'm live right now. Do not embarrass me. On growth and jobs, hey, relax. Powell said that the economy has once again surprised with its strength. Unemployment is showing signs of stabilization. The Fed believes current policy is already restrictive enough. I agree. On the future policy, decisions will be made meeting by meeting. Yeah. No decisions have been made about future cuts. That's boring. But hikes are no longer being discussed as a realistic path. Hey, at least we got that going for us. Oh, finally. Aggregated. Here we go. So January is out of the question. We're now looking at no rate hikes. You can tell there's nothing to the right side of this chart. And the next 2 meetings are expected to keep rates at the same as well for March and April. The meeting after that is June. Powell leaves in May. We replace Powell with either Mr. BlackRock or Kevin. Hassett or Kevin, whatever his other name was. I mentioned it earlier. Warsh, Kevin Warsh, that's what it was. Either way, all of them are pro rate cuts. That's like a requirement by Trump to get appointed, is that in order to be Fed governor, you must be willing to cut rates to 1%. And surely whoever gets elected will indeed do that. And they're going to go ahead and start here. Now, we don't know for sure who it's going to be yet, so I obviously don't think that the Fed governor realistically is going to convince everyone to go ahead and cut rates to 1%. I think they're going to take it slowly. But for now, we're still expecting 2 rate cuts for this year. Fed projected only 1, so markets are being a bit more aggressive with their projections. We're expecting the first one in June, after Powell leaves. The next one will be in October, likely, as of right now. I don't know, it's a bit of a 50-50 in September, so we don't know for sure. But yeah, I mean, by end of year, we'll have our second rate cut for sure. Not for sure. We don't know. Nothing is for sure. That's what the markets think. Okay, no more hikes. Good. On the dollar, Powell explicitly said that the Fed does not comment on the dollar. They don't comment on anything. They didn't even want to comment on gold, which we'll talk about. He also said that there is not much evidence that foreign investors are aggressively hedging out of dollar assets. That's a good thing. On the U.S. deficit, Powell said that the U.S. budget deficit is unsustainable. The sooner it is addressed, the better. This is what pumped gold to new highs. That the U.S. budget deficit is unsustainable. Of course, you're scared of the U.S. dollar being devalued. What do you buy? Bitcoin, right? No, we buy gold or something. Okay. On the U.S. deficit, I just said that. On independence and politics, Powell said that the Fed has not lost independence. He does not believe it will lose independence, and he will continue making decisions objectively, meaning that he does not believe that Trump will ever be able to interfere with the Fed's decisions. Not for long. We'll see. I don't know. When Jerome Powell leaves, it'll be a different story. On the tariffs, Powell said that tariffs are likely a one-time price increase. Most inflation overruns are coming from tariffs, not the demand. And if tariffs effects fade, policy can become easier. On the rate cuts, Powell said policy may now be loosely neutral or somewhat restrictive. It is restrictive, come on. The Fed has already moved a good way on rates, and no one expects the next move to be a hike, which we talked about. The shutdown. Powell said that any effects from the shutdown should be reversed this quarter. This quarter, so the next 3 months, right? Well, 2 months. This month is already over. Meaning he sees it as a temporary thing, not a structural risk. Good, because shutdowns are starting to become a little annoying. We already talked about why there might be a shutdown is because, from what I understand, the Democrats do not want to provide funding for ICE because of what's happening in Minnesota. And what Republicans are trying to do, they are trying to pass whatever bill to continue funding ICE and other stuff as well. Like Democrats are in agreement to fund whatever else it is. I don't know what it is, healthcare or whatever. And then we don't want to be funding ICE though. That's what they're saying. So they're going to shut down the government because of that. Great. Meaning that we already know what the government shutdown does to us. It delays the economic data. We start going into these Fed decisions blind. A lot of it gets delayed. Everything else gets delayed as well. You know, we had a lot of that. The crypto market structure bill stuff getting delayed as well. All of that annoying. So nothing ever gets done. And it's like we're just doing things blind. Yeah, it seemed like we rallied for the first half of it. Not even the first half, the first like 9 days of the government shutdown until Trump decided to announce tariffs and all that. I don't know. Do we even count that? October 10 was a weird day. I'll say that every time I stream. Anyways, when you put everything together, the message is very clear. The Fed is done hiking. The inflation pressure is fading. Tariffs are the main remaining risk. The next expected move is eventually a cut, and it will not be a hike. Financial conditions are no longer being tightened, and the system is shifting from restriction to stabilization. This meeting confirms something huge, that the tightening cycle is over. Now the market is waiting for the easing cycle to begin, just like I explained. So we're waiting for that to happen. And my computer froze. Lovely. So we're going to look at this still image of Jerome Powell while my computer RAM dies. Okay, what are we doing? Oh, there we go. I opened Task Manager and it's like, no, well, I'll work again. Don't worry. Thank you. Good, because I had all these tabs open and I bet it's that Fed website that's killing my RAM. Whatever. Gold surges to a new high after Fed Chair Powell's speech. Gold is up nearly 24% in the last 28 days. It has added over $1.1 trillion today in a single day. Probably even more than that because it's even higher than 5,300. It's 5,600 almost. $7 trillion in 2026 has been added to gold's market cap. In 1 month, we have $7 trillion added to this thing. When will it stop? When will we ever stop? If the single day's gain in gold rotates into Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin will explode to $144,000. But it's not happening, is it? Maybe someday it will happen. I don't know. And when it does happen, we will all be pog-facing at it. And Powell was asked about gold, which we said here, and he said, yeah, guys, don't read too much into the rise in gold prices. It's probably nothing. Thanks, Powell. Peter Schiff, of course, commented on Powell's comments. I love that. He basically said that the recent jump in gold, says Powell, it's irrelevant to Fed policy. But when Greenspan was chair, I don't remember this person, he said that he watched gold closely as it was the best indicator of whether interest rates were too low or too high. How can a once critical metric no longer be relevant? That's important. A good question. Rare agreement with Peter Schiff. What does Grok think? Greenspan did see gold as key inflation gauge, per his past statements, and Powell's recent comments suggest that the Fed now downplays single asset moves, focusing on broader metrics like inflation expectations. The gold surge could reflect market unease, but policy evolves with new tools. Okay. I guess that kind of makes sense. Yeah, you shouldn't only focus on a single asset, like only gold. Is gold rising? Okay, that means that everybody's scared of the dollar. We must make everybody be happy with the dollar, so we will do this to make dollar better. No, you got to also look at other stuff, inflation, unemployment, things like that, which I kind of agree with. Scott Bessent says Trump's pick for Fed chair could be announced within a week or two. Just do it. Just announce it. Let us know who it's going to be. Will it be... Why do I forget the guy's name? BlackRock guy. Come on. Fed chair. Rick Reader. Oh, his odds are dropping. 35% now. Uh-oh. Kevin Warsh is stepping back into the game here. 32% versus Rick Reader, 35%. At least on Polymarket. Waller is back on the rise here as well, 17%. Why Waller? I kind of want to vote no on Waller. We actually don't even know. Like, these answers are really divided here. It's obviously not going to be best sense. Like, this is free money, like the most amount of free money I've ever seen in my life. So I'm going to go max. Okay, I'm not even logged in. That's why. Okay, let me log in. Cringe. Why can't you just keep me logged in? Oh, now I have to go back there. Edit share. Yeah. Oh, right, my VPN. Okay, yeah. Oops, oh, I'm sorry. I'm from Canada. I know. I'm committing a crime. Oh, no. Get out of here, man. Is it really gonna make me stuck? Come on. Okay, let me just... this is why this country sucks. Okay. Okay, I think they just detected and, like, blocked my IP now. Thanks. Okay, well, no, we're not able to bet on it. Who cares? But it's not going to be Scott Bessent. Easiest answer of my life. Anyways, Trump, who never looks at the stock market, just says that the S&P 500 just hit 7,000 for the first time ever. America is back. I never even look at the stock market, so I did not know that. But if gold is hitting 5,500 plus, and then the S&P 500 is just also, you know, casually hitting 7K, 6,975 right now. Why isn't crypto doing this? What is the delay? What is the fear? What is the... It doesn't make sense to me, right? I want to find... Where is it? Here you are. Stock market fear and greed index is at fear, whereas crypto... Okay, I said that wrong. The fear and greed index for the stock market is at greed. And for crypto, it is at fear. Buy when others are fearful, fear when others are greedy. So when capital rotation, it's only a matter of time, right? That's the only logical answer. Okay, thanks Trump for letting us know. Ray Dalio warns that this rally is fake though. He's not saying that this is rising because gold is so good and the S&P 500 is so good. It's probably because the currency is weakening. It's not real growth. And I've kind of used this analogy with homes before. It's like, is your home price really going up in value? Or is the dollar devaluing itself? Right? Wages don't change. I also talked about this with another friend. It's like minimum wage will go up every certain period of time. Is that really a good thing though? And also people who aren't getting paid minimum wage, let's say like, I don't know, $20 an hour for whatever job they work at, they don't get a raise along with the minimum wage. It just stays flat. At least in some cases it does. I don't know for if that actually works. But yeah, something funny. Anyways, Ray Dalio says if there is a depreciation in the value of money, it makes everything look like it's going up. Today, stocks and commodities are hitting new all-time highs. Meanwhile, the US dollar index fell to a multi-year low. That's not a bull market, that's just the dollar bleeding. Hey, if that is the case, then why is the cryptos is not going up? Look at this, we're about to lose 88,000. America explain. Is the US dollar actually crashing? I did not even see that. DXY. Dude, this should be so bullish for crypto, and it's not. We hit 95. We hit 95. Yeah, these are levels we have not seen in a very long time. Since February 2022. Like this over here, 2020, 2021, that was when Bitcoin and crypto was at its all-time highs, that part of the cycle, at 69,000. And then 2022, well, US dollar started increasing in value. The dollar index is what I mean, rate hikes, etc. And FTX, all of that piled on into ultimately a bear market. I'll bet you my bottom dollar, September 19, 2022 is when Bitcoin hit its all-time low. Not really. 18K? Come on, that's close enough. Yeah, we kind of hit a little over 15K over here a couple months later. That's close enough. You got the point, right? The correlation is there. But now, I mean, honestly, it didn't drop too much, but I mean, crypto should still be rising nonetheless. Gold is, not crypto though. Like, if this is a new low, Bitcoin should be making a new high. Like, it makes sense if you just flip this chart around. Never mind, you don't get what gold chart looks like. I thought it was going to be 1-to-1 with gold. But I mean, with Bitcoin, yeah, we're holding at this area. If we zoom out at the weekly chart, we just lost 88K, by the way. This is rough. Why is Bitcoin not rising? The only logical answer I could provide is that eventually it should. It must, right? Why are we crashing? None of it makes sense. Anyways, Trump's comments on the US dollar hitting a 5-year low, he said, no, guys, the dollar is doing great. This is the guy who still thinks that we should cut rates to 1%. That'll weaken the dollar even more, which would pump every other asset except for crypto, of course, to even higher highs. I'm sure crypto should benefit if rates suddenly teleported to 1% from the 3.5 that it is right now or whatever it is. Yeah, it's a big difference. It would weaken the US dollar and strengthen everything else. Or is it really just that the US dollar is dying? It's always been dying, that's no secret, but depends at what pace. Trump had a speech today, a live stream, where he announced the Trump accounts. He also mentioned that he is pleased to announce that Visa is creating a brand new platform which will allow credit card holders to deposit their cashback rewards directly into Trump accounts. There's a lot more that was announced. I'm not going to go into all of it, but bottom line, if you don't know what Trump accounts is it trumpaccounts.gov? I'd be amazed if I guessed the website. Let's go. So Trump accounts is, we talked about this before, where you have a baby and the US government immediately creates a fund account, a portfolio for that baby, and gives you $1,000 for free that must be invested into that child's portfolio in the S&P 500, I think, or at least for now. And over time, as the child grows to be 18 years old, that money should grow. Of course, you also have the option of investing in there as well. And ultimately, child become rich at age 18, which is a good way to do it. I like that. So here's the bottom line. We're going to read through it all. You get $1,000 for every American child that is born between January 1 of last year, 2025, and December 31 to 2028. Limited time only. Have as many babies as you can before 2028. Wow. The account is fully in your child's name, and you are the sole custodian until they turn 18. No contributions are necessary, but you can deposit up to $5,000 per year to maximize growth. Only $5,000 per year? Well, I guess they don't want billionaires investing for their children. I don't know. Sure, fine. You're allowed to be rich, but not that rich, okay? Relax. So it's launching July 5, 2026. Can I make this dark page? Hey, let's go. I think I might mess up the images somewhere, but that's fine. Enroll your child by making an election when you file your taxes. Make sure you're paying your taxes. A financial institution will receive your funds and activate your account. They'll also get your sensitive data and maybe get data breached at some point, but that's okay. Sit back, watch the money grow, contribute anytime, or not, but no more than 5K. A year. Big things start with small steps. Jumpstart their financial future. Okay. The power of time in the market, meaning that you're guaranteed to have your money growing in the US stock market 100% of the time. Nobody's ever lost money. Proven winners, all American growth. You invest in American companies. The app lets you see exactly what stocks they own and how they are performing. Just, God forbid you buy, what's a terrible stock? I don't know. Let me think. United Health. Buy Tesla or something. Growing their finances and their education. As they get older, they'll learn about investing and watch their money compound in real time. They'll gain more than just money. They'll gain financial literacy. Hey, you know what? I agree. I could use an extra... Okay, what is the math here? I think the math is shown later on. At 18, the Trump account is all theirs. They're free to continue letting it grow, or they can withdraw the funds right away if they want to spend it on drugs and cigarettes or whatever 18-year-olds do these days. With all the tax advantages of a traditional IRA, your child's account grows with them. So, if you contribute nothing per year at age 18, you have $5,800 for free. Cool. You could use that to, I don't know. If you contribute $250 a year, which that's nothing money. Come on, I can do that a month. The child would have $20,700. Look at that power of compounding. That difference of just investing $250 a year for 18 years. What's 250 times 18? 4,500. That would grow into 20,700. Impressive. At age 18. And if you contribute max amount, $5,000 a year, if you're rich like that, I think people could afford this, realistically. $5,000 a year for your kid. I mean, depending on how many kids you have, but sure. That's about $90,000 that you've invested into your child. They will now have $303,800. So would you rather have a difference of $15K or a difference of $200K? Come on. Don't be a wuss. Invest $90K into your child. Who cares about age 27? What a weird number. Anyways, let's go to 55. Oh my. If your child does not touch that account at age 18 and lets it grow and manages to survive until age 55, they could retire with $2.7 million. But keep in mind the year would be 2070, 2080. Will the world even exist in 2080? I don't expect it to. Either Jesus comes back or we all die to a nuke. So who's supporting this? Michael and Susan Dell, which we've talked about their support with it. Ray and Barbara Dalio are also here, which we just talked about. Ray talking about the US dollar is bad. And yet, you're about to make $2.7 million. Impressive. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Trump. That's it. Nice. Get me out of here. Okay, what else was talked about at this event? Nicki Minaj. I don't know why she's becoming way too politically active, but here she is. You know what's funny is she was at the AmFest, which was hosted by Turning Point USA, by Erica Kirk, wife of Charlie, right? Charlie spoke bad of Nicki Minaj and I think it was Cardi B when at one of his debates, his open mic debates that he had, one of the students was like, oh, but like, why are... It was something about black women, I think. And then he's like, well, it's because you got these influencers. Who are the stars of black women? It's Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. And what do? All they do is sing about all this terrible stuff and do all these acts on the screen. And it's no good for the influence of young women. And then after he dies, then you have Nicki Minaj herself just like being the star of the show. And I don't know, maybe she did have a good change of heart. Maybe. I don't know. We're willing to give her a pass, right? Anyways. And she even told, like, hey, any Trump haters, screw off, live on stage. I'm probably the president's #1 fan, and that is not going to change. They hate or what people have to say. What? Oh, the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. It's going to motivate all of us to support him more. Biased? Maybe. Why do I say that? Because she was granted the Trump Gold Card. She's one of the buyers of this thing. This thing costs, what is it, $5 million? How much does Trump Gold Card cost? Yeah, $5 million. Look at my brain. It's so perfect. In 2018, the rapper from Trinidad confirmed on Facebook that she came to the US illegally, and now she gets permanent residency. Congrats. Pay to win, isn't it? I mean, yeah, she comes here, she starts making all these banger songs. She gets super rich off of it, and now she can buy her way into being an American citizen. Hey, how cool is that? Pay-to-win system. I mean, honestly, if we want people in the United States, they better be rich, right? So, hey, there you go. Oh yeah, Dean, PayPal is a shitty stock. I agree. PayPal is also not that good. All right, what else do we got? Trump warning Iran on a massive armada heading toward the region. President Donald Trump says this. I'm just going to read the post itself. A massive armada is heading to Iran. Yes, the threat is still looming in the background. Will something ever happen? It's been too long. I feel like... Okay, no, I'm confused. Okay, first let me read the post and I'll give my thoughts. It is moving quickly, with great power, enthusiasm, and purpose. It's a larger fleet headed by the great aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln than that sent to Venezuela. Like with Venezuela, it is ready, willing, and able to rapidly fulfill its mission, with speed and violence if necessary. Hopefully Iran will quickly come to the table and negotiate a fair and equitable deal. No nuclear weapons. One that is good for all parties. Time is running out. It is truly of the essence. As I told Iran once before, make a deal. They didn't. And there was Operation Midnight Hammer, a major destruction of Iran. What is Midnight Hammer? Is that what we're calling the 12-day war? The bombing of Fordo and Isfahan and Hormuz? No, I don't know what it's called. The next attack will be far worse. Don't make that happen again. Thank you for your attention matter. Okay. So, Is Trump really trying to save the protesters there? The more we delay, the more protesters die in Iran. That's just a fact. Then you have the protesters that are in the United States. I mean, we had Renee Good die, and then we had Alex Pretty die. Pretty good. Easy way to remember that. So, do we really care about the protesters? We're delaying. We're kind of saying, okay, yeah, we're waiting for Iran to come to the table. We already gave them the threats. We've been sanctioning them. We have these tariffs imposed on countries that trade with them of 25%, which I think those are still active. Or I don't know. But the more we delay, the worse it's going to get. I don't know. Or maybe we're just being tactical about this at the cost of more people dying in Iran. Maybe we'll get the surprise attack that we want. Maybe we'll give them the blow that will allow us to change the regime and not have to worry about a counterattack, a heavy one at that, from Iran. So what's the play? What are we doing? That's the big question on Iran, which we do not know until yet. And now speaking of, actually I'm going to keep this bookmarked because it's genuinely pretty cool. Not really. Alex Pretty. There he is, spitting ICE agents 11 days before, I think it was, on January 13, and kicking an ICE vehicle. So it's not his first rodeo of him, you know, committing atrocities on the streets, you know, and he's been apprehended in the exact same way as the day he died. That day, I forget which day it was. I don't keep track of it. It seems like he did not conceal carry in this one. Otherwise, you know, ICE agents would have said, gun, gun, pulled it away from him, and then shot him 10 times. So, I don't know. This time he was successfully detained, kind of. But there is video evidence of him doing the same stuff. So, oh, there we go. He escaped. Yeah, that's pretty much him. That's Alex Pretty right here. Same clothes and everything. It's like he never changed his clothes. I'm hoping this is not AI. But it seems like news outlets confirmed that this video was real. This is him, right? There he is, like, kicking the car, kicking the light off, literally right off of the car. ICE agents get mad. They're like, hey, get over here, pal. Same deal. Was he concealed carrying? I don't see a gun here or here. This is very blurry, but... yeah, I don't think he was concealed carrying, right? So in this case, he was clean. Hey, don't bring a gun to a protest and you won't get shot. Right? Maybe. Okay, I'm not going to comment any further on it, but in regards to what's happening in Minnesota, Tom Homan is there, which we talked about, and it seems like Tim Walz is... I don't know if he's got a gun pointed to his head and saying this by force, but he seems like he's happy that he's there. Democrats are furious after Tim Walz shows signs of caving, praising Tom Homan. He says that Tom Homan is a professional. He landed last night and called me last night and asked if I could have a meeting. He was there at 9. I don't know if that's necessarily really good, like glazing Tom Homan, but there you go. Also on this note, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, analyzed by BBC, confirmed 97% degree of accuracy. It was filmed 11 days before Pretty got shot and killed. So there you go. Yeah, no other stuff to look at there. Ilhan Omar of Minnesota as well, congresswoman there. She was giving a speech and then she got sprayed by this mysterious man during the town hall meeting. And everybody's like, what happened? It's a mysterious substance. What did they spray on Ilhan Omar? This is an assassination attempt. I'll replay the video for you here. So here she is yapping about arresting Kristi Noem or something like that. And then this guy, you saw that spray? And he's like, don't talk about Kristi Noem like that. And yeah. Do we see that there's the spray like effects there? You see that? Like it's zooming there. There's the guy's hand spraying whatever it was. And he's like, hey, relax. And then they took him away. And then she continued her speech as if nothing happened. That caused a lot of people to be suspicious of it. It's like, what's going on? Was this staged? It looks staged because, I don't know, they kind of kept their cool. Maybe they're just really good at that. Trump commented on it as well. He said that she likely staged her being sprayed by a man during an event. Trump says, I don't think about her. Wow, I think she's a fraud. I really don't think about that. She probably had herself sprayed knowing her. ABC asked Trump, have you seen the video? He's like, nope, I have not seen it. And I don't have to bother seeing it. Really doesn't care about her. That's crazy. So we confirmed now that the man who quote unquote attacked Ilhan Omar last night, he basically sprayed her with apple cider vinegar. So it's harmless. She's fine. So there was that spray thing, and then the security guard like takes him. He's like, "What are you doing?" Drops him to the floor. Um, and this seems like it was a pre-planned thing. Maybe one of the neighbors was told by this man. His name is Anthony Kazmierczak. He said, "I might get arrested before the event," meaning that yeah, he was kind of planning to do that. Look at Ilhan Omar trying to punch the guy. Do you see that? I didn't even realize this reaction from her. Jeez, such an aggressive woman. No, but obviously I would react the same way if I got sprayed with a mysterious substance like that. Look at her reaction. She immediately goes and is about to like raise a fist and punch him if the security guard didn't tackle him to the ground already. So crazy. The neighbor did say that this man, though, he was on heavy meds from a car crash incident, and he has Parkinson's at age 55. That's too young to have Parkinson's. All right, in my opinion, I don't know. Raises serious questions. She makes millions of dollars in a year, from $42 to $25 million in a year, to her fake wine business making millions, and now she's attacked on camera. What else are we talking about here? Omar slips him the "quick, you're clear" head nod, and then he pops up straight stage direction on video. Really? Does she look at him? Not really. She kind of just glances at him for like 1 second. But this guy seemed prepared to just do that. I don't know. There you go. Booked for third-degree assault after spraying Omar. Third-degree assault? What does that even mean? Anyway. I'm assuming first degree is physical, second degree is emotional, third degree is a spray. Is that what it means? Okay. What else does it say about this guy? He doesn't have any violent crime convictions in Minnesota, just 2 driving under influences on his record. So he's a drunkard. Here he is. What is that? Is that water or I think it's water. Is that Fiji water? Oh my, he's rich. I think that is Fiji water. I have to look this up. Sorry, but I have to look this up. Yeah, it's Fiji water. I don't know. I don't see the plant, the flower, the purple flower. Yeah, it's blue, but I don't see the purple flower. Whatever. Maybe it's alcohol and I'm just too innocent to know. Yeah, that's all there really is to it. She got sprayed, nothing happened, guy's gone, and clearly fake, clearly staged. She got apple cider vinegar sprayed on her by a man with a black girlfriend and a trans son, so he's not even like anti-Democrat or anything, and he happens to have a picture with Ilhan Omar from before. Is that true? This is the picture, by the way. No, it's not it. Alright, let's just move on from there. This is a real assassination attempt. If you want to know what we're... Okay, anyway. Here they are, firing RPGs at a mayor in the Philippines. He ended up unarmed because of the armored SUV. Here's the shot being fired from this angle, right there on the SUV. How bulletproof is that? Now that's a real assassination attempt. And the guy survived, by the way, the mayor. And the car just drives off after being shot by a rocket launcher, as if nothing happened. Now that is awesome. Anyway. President Trump's Board of Peace has announced its first round of founding member countries, which include Albania, Argentina, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Belarus, Bulgaria, Cambodia, Egypt, El Salvador, Hungary, Indonesia, Jordan, Kazakhstan, Kosovo, Kuwait, Mongolia, Morocco, Pakistan, Paraguay, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, United Arab Emirates, United States, Uzbekistan, and Vietnam. Notice how there's no Western countries on this. Maybe for good reason. Speaking of Western countries, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, he's in Beijing. Why are we all going to China? Why are we abandoning the United States and going to China? Anyway, Mark Carney kind of did this too, so hey, at least the UK is following in our footsteps for once. But anyway, it's marking the first visit to China by a UK Prime Minister in 8 years. Okay. The trip includes meetings with President Xi Jinping and other senior Chinese officials, followed by a visit to Shanghai. What are they going to talk about? I think we'll figure that out eventually. It's like, I was going to say it's midnight over there. No, it's like 10 a.m. Okay, great. Well, good morning. We'll see what they do. White House to gather the banking and crypto industry executives on Monday to discuss the stalled Senate crypto bill. Good, because when are we going to get that thing happening? Please, it's been too long. I don't have the post anymore. I had one from Bull Theory. Oh, it's not going to let me do this. Okay, thanks. Where is that post? Here it is. The U.S. Senate Agriculture Committee will vote on a major crypto market structure bill tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. So this is the agriculture one that we've been talking about. The Senate Banking Committee, they are delaying, and they're delaying it to next week. If this bill is approved and signed by President Trump, it could reduce price manipulation and wash trading in crypto by nearly 70%. We know this. We've been waiting for it for a very long time, and it's just not happening. They will gather the banking and crypto industry executives on February 2nd, that is Monday, to discuss the stalled Senate crypto market structure bill, as we explained. The meeting will focus on the ability of crypto companies to pay interest and rewards on stablecoin holdings. This was the big issue and part of the reason why it was delayed, partially sabotaged by Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong. Although I don't really want to put the full blame on him, because maybe he's doing this for the good of the industry. At least that's what we would like to think, right? So we'll see what comes of that. Back to this, World Liberty Financial's USD1, the stablecoin, it has become the fastest growing tokenized asset on Solana, with a 191% increase in market cap in the past month. More people are using the USD1 on Solana. Did we pass World Liberty Finance itself? That's what I want to know. Is the stablecoin worth more than the actual project? Here is World Liberty Financial. And where is USD1? Am I blind? Oh, here it is. It is. That's crazy. So the stablecoin has a $5 billion market cap, and World Liberty Finance has a $4.3 billion market cap. Dead project, by the way. What do we make of this? Like, if the stablecoin is worth more than the actual project, do we even have another project that happens? No, right? Hyperliquid is more than USDH. What other stablecoins are there? Ethereum is more than Tether and USDC. Sure. Arguably, Tether is higher than Tron, but I mean, Tether is more Ethereum than Tron. What other stablecoins are there? Did you guys see this other stablecoin from Sky, which used to be M something, MYX, I think? It's a new project here. Maker, not MYX. Maker has been rebranded to Sky, and their DAI, DAI, stablecoin was also rebranded, I think. I want to find this. Maker holders can upgrade their Maker tokens to Sky. So Maker no longer exists. It's now going to be called Sky. Sky USDS is their new stablecoin, which is fully decentralized as well. So rest in peace, Athena. Am I right? USDS. I want to find that. Sounds like a disease. It's number 9. Is it really number 9? DAI has been rebranded to USDS. Why was this worth $1.27? 22nd of September 2024. This is the DAI stablecoin though, and this is fully decentralized from what I understand, right? Upgraded stablecoin of the Sky ecosystem. It can be converted one-to-one from DAI or from USDC on sky.money and other front ends. It could also be converted back to DAI. Upgrading is optional. Can you tell me if it is decentralized? No, you will not. Thank you for nothing. What is USDS? Oh, and you can now ask CMC AI, which I like that. Oh, but you need credits. Ah, great. And I don't have any credits. Do I have to sign in now? I didn't want to create an account on CoinMarketCap because They actually had a data breach. Did you know that? But nothing big was stolen. It was just like emails and stuff like that. But still, I was like, I don't want this. Are we really doing this? The user is asking, what is USDS? Okay, I need a structure. This is like the AI reasoning. I hate that. Just don't even show me that. You look like a idiot. Anyways. Yield-bearing decentralized stablecoin of the Sky protocol, designed to maintain a one-to-one peg with the US dollar, while offering holders opportunities to earn rewards through its native ecosystem. What is it backed by? Collateral backed by over-collateralized loans, diversified basket of crypto assets, and real-world assets. That's what makes it decentralized. Okay. Which ones, though? Like, Athena, for example, is Bitcoin and Ethereum only. That's what it's backed by. And it's arguably doing a decent job, except for whatever happened on October 10. But that's besides the point. Good for USD1, I guess. That's the main point of that whole post. And my last post here is the expiry. The options expiry for Bitcoin is happening. The largest one of 2026, arguably the first one, or I think the second one. It's got to be the second one. It happens every 2 weeks, right? Over $8.53 billion in Bitcoin options expire this Friday at 8 a.m. UTC. This is the largest expiry of the year. What time is 8 a.m. UTC to EST? That is 3 a.m. EST. Let's go. I will be wide awake for that. Totally. Are we sure? It's the largest expiry of the year. Calls are stacked at 100k. Puts loaded near 85k. And the max pain sits at 90k. Price decide who gets wiped. Yeah, quite literally, it's a 50-50 game right here. Price is basically close to 90,000. We're at 88,000. Actually, no. 85k is closer than 100k. I don't know. I don't know. What does Grok say? Does somebody ever ask Grok? There's always that one guy that asks Grok. Here we go. Bitcoin's option expiry, we know. Where most will expire worthless at 90k. The price may gravitate there for minimal payouts. That's crazy. Okay, so maybe a rise to 90k. The current Bitcoin price is 89,000, so a slight upside pull is possible. It's not strictly bullish or bearish, so you could expect volatility. Post-expiry, price could rise if the calls dominate, or drop on sentiment. So we have to monitor closely. I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're going to drop too much or anything like that. Man, I wish I bought now instead of... You know what? Should I buy again? Because I didn't buy yesterday. I don't know. If I buy again, we're just going to crash to like 70,000 immediately because that's just how life works. I'm just going to leave it there. It's fine. Buy once a day. Leave it at that. Go walk your dog, mow the lawn, shovel the snow, do something with your life. Touch grass. So that is all for tonight's stream, guys. Thanks so much for watching. What are we going to do now? Tomorrow... What is happening tomorrow again? We're getting jobless claims. Oh, Bank of Canada also had their interest rates, by the way. It's such an irrelevant country, but we had no change. I think this is the first time in a while we're pausing rate cuts because we've been cutting for a long time. Right? Where's the chart? Here it is. Yeah, we've been cutting for a while. Last time we also didn't cut. December, November, and October. Well, October we did cut. November, December, January, we did not cut. These look like they're really close to each other. I don't think this really counts. I think only one of these was the true one. And then, yeah, we've been cutting for a while. From 5%, we're already down to 2.25%. And yet, United States is still at 3.75, I think, overall. Yeah, 3.75%. They're lacking. They need to cut a whole basis point down. A full basis point. Does that make sense? No. 25 basis points is 25%. 100 basis points is what they need to cut then for the 1%. Numbers. Bank of Japan already happened. Nothing happened. And jobless claims, that's happening tomorrow. Nothing important. PPI is happening on Friday and options expiry as well. That's the remaining volatility that we have. I don't know, this week's been kind of underwhelming. I was expecting a lot more. But yeah. So I'm still expecting gravitation toward the downside. I know you don't want to hear that. I'm sorry, but that's what I see. Ethereum rally will not last. I'm not getting good entries. I probably should have shorted that, honestly, in retrospect. It's fine, dude. If I did short this, we would be rising right now, so we're fine. Okay, we just had a low of what? 87,655. Yeah. Bearish engulfing candle. We might continue lower, so keep your eyes peeled. All right, that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe. We'll see you